ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to take a look at the T110E5, one of my all-time favorite tanks that used to be very, very good. But nowadays, it isn't as good as it used to be because Wargaming nerfed the tank a while ago, and it's never really been the same kind of tank. However, it still is a good tank, and it is still a tank that I honestly love to play. So they removed the engine boost. So they removed, it looks like they've removed the special boost on the tank, which I thought was fantastic. The speed boost was fantastic, and it's something that I think that should have stayed on the tank. But overall, I don't even think, only because I like the speed boost, but I don't think it originally even needed the speed boost. It was a quick enough tank. It was a heavium. It was what was known as a heavium, which is a heavy, but also like a mix between a heavy and a medium tank. So you can still perform well in the tank, and it is still a good tank, and it's a tank that I still love to take out, and you can still perform well in it. So the turret armor is 203 millimeters. Now the turret is good. It's better than it used to be. It used to have a massive hatch on top, kind of like the M48 pattern. But Wargaming removed that. Now, when Wargaming removed that, I did think it become a special tank. Everybody loved it, and it was absolutely fantastic for all kinds of situations. You could play it as a medium, a heavy, you could go hold down, you could pretty much do anything with the E5. It did have the DPM as well, but nowadays it's not as good. So the whole armor is 254. So the upper plate is okay. Of course, the lower plate is kind of weak. Now, the DPM, 2,559. So it has dropped quite a bit of DPM when Wargaming nerfed the tank, but I think it's still okay. Of course, because we're used to playing the tank with good DPM and how it used to be for so many years, a lot of people no longer like the E5 because it is a different kind of tank. It doesn't play as good as it used to play. So a lot of people don't like the tank. However, I am still one that does like it, and I'm one of the ones that still play it regularly. So the reload time is 9.26 seconds. Penetration 258 on your AP and 340 on your HE, and 340 on your heat and 60 on your HE. You've got a 400 alpha gun on your AP, 340 on your heat, and 515 on your HE. Now, the only problem with it being a 400 alpha is you do get quite a few shots that are in the low 300s. And again, that's some of the difference between the 420 alphas, you know, the 460s. Those you're more likely to get a shot around the 400 mark, where with this tank you do get shots that sometimes are even lower than some of the mediums. So that is the one negative, but you do have the quicker reload. 9-second reload is not bad, and of course the aim time is very good for what it is at 2.6, and the dispersion is pretty good at 0.299 as well. It has 8 degrees of gun depression with a 42 kilometers per hour speed. I think it looks fantastic. Honestly, I love the camo. I think the tank really does look fantastic, and it is still a beast. It is still a beast when played correctly. So we're just going to get into some games that I had. One game I had on stream, which was actually very, very easy, which we'll get to straight after this game. So yeah, I mean, I do play the tank occasionally. I do like playing the tank in all kind of modes. Not my modes, but like ratings, I play it. When I'm just playing tier 10, I don't mind playing it. So it can still work. The tank still can work even after the nerf that it received. But you just need to play it right. You know, again, you can play it like a medium. You can support your mediums. And if you support your mediums, then the enemy mediums will struggle to penetrate you. It all depends on, of course, the your positioning more than heavies and tank destroyers. If you come up against a heavy or a tank destroyer, especially when you're on flat ground, then you can't expect to bounce too much. But really, you need to use the 8 degrees of gun depression. If you do use that 8 degrees of gun depression and you're wiggling your turret, it does become a very difficult pen. But you've got to play it correctly. You really got to play this tank correctly. The most fun way to play, of course, is like a medium, because you're just non-stop. You're moving, you're going into the mediums, and you're non-stop. Whereas if you're playing it in a hold down kind of position on a ridge, then it's more of the boring side. And if you get in a map like we've just got here, where no one come my side, then yeah, it's pretty boring. But poor Grill, he just got absolutely ripped apart. So it's definitely a tank that is grindable. You need to grind this tank because it is a good tank to have in your garage. And not only that, but I think the whole line of the E5 is really good. You've got the M103, of course, in Tier 9. You've also got the T32 in Tier 8 and the T29. So overall, I do honestly think this is one of the best lines to grind in the game. Like, the whole line is absolutely fantastic to grind. The T32, again, when played correctly, is a very, very good tank. The T29, which in my opinion is one of the best tanks in Tier 7. M103, yeah, it's okay. It's not too bad. It's a quick heavy, and again, if you're up against Tier 8s, it performs much better than it does when you are up against those Tier 10s. So yeah, it is still a tank that is worth grinding. The whole line is one of the best. Don't ignore that shot I've just had there. That was a very, very bad shot. So, of course, again, it is an American tank as well, so be careful of tanks coming behind. You do have that, again, I'm only using 2 equipments because my speed boost went. I didn't even realize when starting the game that they removed it, so I've only got 2 equipment slots, 2 provisions, consumables, sorry. So we're not gonna, sadly, we're not gonna win this game. It is now a 3 versus 4, and I'm thinking, you know what, I do have the hit points. Of course, I want to focus on the E100 here. He's the one that the Super Conqueror was focusing, and if we focus him, then we could have got him down and dead. So we do take care of him, and now it is just a 2 versus 3. But sadly, pretty much all 3 tanks, there goes the Death Star. So I am now on my own against these 3 tanks, and that was just a stupid bounce. Stupid bounce, and sadly that is going to be the end of my game. So we're just gonna, we don't want to see anymore. We get the last shot in, 3,400 damage, and we've done that pretty quickly. But that's not going to be as easy as my next battle, which was very, very easy. I done in stream, and it all goes to thanks to one of the tanks that I thought was AFK. So we're just going to push forward. And again, if you play it like a heavy, it is also good because you're able to get into position. Because your speed, you are able to get into position a lot quicker than most of the other heavies. So by the time the heavies get there, just like in this situation, we got into position. We knew that the heavies are going to cross. Well, we was hoping that the heavies was going to cross, and we managed to get into position as they were crossing, and we do get the shot off. And the Minotauro there is almost half hit points, or both Minotauros are now half hit points, and they're very strong tanks. You know, they are good tanks to get rid of, especially if you got 2 of them that are in a platoon. So a couple of troll shots that we're going to get. I mean, we've got the Super Conqueror there as well. We do get that nice shot. Again, 395 alphas, so it's not the highest of alphas. But if you are using the reload boost as well, or to get your reload down, then yeah, you can get that almost around 8 seconds, 8.5 seconds, I think. So it's not too bad. So just make sure you use it when you need it. Don't waste it. So now we're on 1.6k damage. There goes the Object 268, unfortunately. Now we're going to try to get that shot on the Super Conqueror to bring him down to low hit points as well. So the Minotauro is there on a 1 shot. 1 is half hit points. We're going to not quite get that shot on the Super Conqueror, but we're now going to push forward. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, you know what? They are low enough hit points for me to start pushing. The Minotauro there gets shot. He's now a 1 shot, and I think I don't even manage to pen this guy. I think I'm going to bounce. Yeah, I do bounce, which is unfortunate because I just didn't aim properly, which is very unfortunate. But now both of these are a 1 shot. I do get that shot there from the Minotauro, and now again, stupidly, without even properly aiming, then I do get another bounce on him. But even for me, I've still bounced 1300 damage. We do manage to take care of that guy for my second kill. So we have still bounced 1300 damage, which is very, very important, because when it's a 5 versus 4 and they have hit points, I would almost be around about a one shot by now if I didn't bounce them shots. So we're now going to push forward. We've got the Kampfpanzer 50T, which I'd love to get rid of. We've got the AMX behind. So I'm just going to ignore him because he is full hit points. And I'm going to push this Kampfpanzer 50T because he's got great DPM. He's a very solid tank. He's a medium. He's a quick tank. It's now a 4 versus 3. They've got 2 cap points, 2 supremacy points. So I need to take care of that guy. Now the Vickers is there. I'm going to ignore him. Well, I was hoping to ignore him because my team is there. So I'm just going to wait and see if he crosses and hopefully try to get the shot as he crosses. But yeah, he's nowhere near my point of view. So now I know that the AMX was behind, and I could have recapped base B there, to be honest. But I know the AMX is behind. I'm not sure at this point if he was AFK or if he was just coming from behind, but I knew he was around this side of the map. So I'm going to push forward. We've got 3.4k damage, and then I'm thinking, hey, he's AFK. But actually, he's not AFK. He's just sitting there, and I don't know what he's doing. But he's actually going to get some shots off on me. And I actually need to be careful, because the worst thing I want to do here now is die from this guy. He's got good enough DPM, he's got armor, and with the Vickers actually shooting me from behind as well, I can actually die here. And if I die, that Vickers could actually win them the game. We have now caught base B, so it will slow the supremacy points a little bit. And I actually need a couple of bounces here. And we've got that. 3,400 block damage. Of course, this guy is not the smartest of tools. I don't know what he's actually doing. He's just sitting there enjoying life, you know, enjoying his surroundings. And unfortunately for the enemy team, that is going to lose them the game. They actually got to 930 supremacy points. So this Vickers could have won them the game. But unfortunately for him, there is just 4 tanks all chasing him, and he does get gone. So it was an enjoyable game on stream as well. 3,400 block damage, which again, you can do in this tank. Put this tank in the right situation, you can do that. And we managed to end the game on 5,400 damage. I would say a well-deserved ace, but most of my damage come from that AMX at the end there, which was very, very easy damage. So it's definitely a line that is grindable. You can grind the line. It is a fun line to grind. As I've said, it's one of the best lines in the game to grind, with the whole tier 6, 7, 8, 9, and even the tier 10. They are all good tanks, fun tanks as well to play. So let me know your thoughts on the E5. Is it a tank that you like? Is it one of your go-to tier 10 tanks? I'd love to know. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With